Here we go.
There we go.
We're off
Lights
skate.
out.
Half an hour of racing underway.
Can't stop addicted to the shindig. Chop top, it says I'm gonna win big. Choose not to like the limitation. Distant us into the reservation. Too long to kiss the that you pay for. This part the feeling that you stay for. In time I want to be your best friend. Eastside love is living on the west end. Knocked out before you better come to. Don't die, you know the truth is some do. Go ask the dust for any answers. Come back strong with 50 million answers. The world I love, the tears I drop to be part of the wave can't stop.
Hello everyone, welcome to the Sunday Sprint Series here at the Red Bull Ring. We're just starting qualifying now, as usually is the first car to go across the line to start their lap. The BMW is very, very close behind, which is probably not optimal to start quali, but hopefully it doesn't put Yusufi off too much as he gets a little bit shaky over the curbs into turn 1. Obviously, been joined by Harry today, who's you can see him in the background there. So yeah, it should be an exciting race. Obviously, remind everyone of the Sunday Sprint Series. It's a 30-minute race, but well, very short qualifying to start, only 10 minutes, and then it's a 30-minute race with the second race being a complete reverse grid. Just over 20 cars tonight, so it should be lots of action, especially at a track like this, where it's super fun to make overtakes and keep the pace up. It's relatively easy and also relatively easy to go wrong. So you usually actually get a very nice line there, especially in a Ferrari. Does not really like this track as a whole, but seemed to be a relatively clean lap to start with by Yusufi. So have to see what it is. Wasn't paying too much attention in practice of the lap times, but I know there's a few 27s which are quite competitive. So I have to see. Obviously we've actually got a little bit of experience with some of the older cars here. If you remember back to a Discord series race, we had the old gen cars here. That was a really exciting race. Also we saw the likes of, well, only the likes of the Lexus and the Nissan. No Nissans today, but there is a Lexus on track. Yusufi does cross the line to be a 128.7 and Hanak actually a 127.9, so already it's testing the pace. I don't have his livery unfortunately, but yeah, everyone seems to be up on the time. Yusufi already finding 2.5 tenths on the lap time, so maybe not the perfect lap already. Everyone else seems to be settling in, purple sectors for different cars. There actually seems to be a little bit of a collection of cars there. You can see there is the Lexus Ben Ely. I think the Lexus was actually quite quick, actually, at the old gen race that we had, or was capable of doing quick lap times. I mean, Lexus isn't that far off in terms of pace anyway, but yeah, I mean, it's been interesting to see what Ben can do. Obviously, he's already had a great start to the season in the Lexus, so he's currently sitting P8, 1.2 seconds off the leader, which is not too bad at all, as he'll be looking hopefully for a top 10 finish today, I would imagine. So we'll move back on with Hanak, who is obviously the lead driver at the moment. He's going to get a nice slipstream from Harry down the back straight, which is going to increase his delta to 3 tenths as he crosses the line. So now it's a 127.6. No one else is in the 27th as it stands at the moment. So see how that goes for everybody else. But we'll move on to other drivers actually, because I think we've seen it's Kelly actually, who's half a second up on the delta. Now 7 tenths. Obviously it wasn't a great lap for Kelly to start. It was a 130.0. As he'll be looking to work his way down into the 120s. Head back up towards the grid. Yeah, that's Kanai in the number 33 BMW, half a second up on the lap time as well. I do believe he was one of the names that I saw at the top of practice just a minute ago, so I'm assuming he'll be looking to set a competitive lap time. Again, you can really see how quickly qualifying goes. It's already 4 minutes left. So some drivers may be looking to end their laps and restart their run, or just go out through the rest of quali. Everyone seems to be mostly on track at the moment, bar 2 cars. So we'll have to see how that works out for everyone. So yeah, it's still great finish to the lap from Kanai, as it's a second up on the Delta. That should put him within 2/10 of Hanak. Yes, it is. It's a 1:27.9. The only other driver at the moment to set at 1:27, which is amazing to see. That being said, though, P3, P4 up on the Delta, not by much. Yes, he used to be actually losing so much time out of turn 1, probably a mistake. And that's going to be the big thing about Red Bull Ring. If you mess up turn 1, you've got a lot to pay for it. That is a long straight all the way up to turn, technically class turn 3. And yeah, you can see he's already 7/10 down on the Delta, so one corner can really change everything on this circuit. So you really have to perfect it. But the driver we need to pay attention to at the moment is back with the BMW, who is on a pole lap time. Actually, no, he's not. I lie, because Hanak has actually set a 1:27.4 last time round, which I did not see. He's currently half a second clear of the rest of the grid, which is crazy to see. I don't believe actually anyone else. Actually, yes, we do. We have Dirk currently 4/10 up on the Delta. They'll be looking to try close the gap between P16 and P15 as it stands. You see some drivers back into the pit lane, maybe going for their final runs now, or some drivers going for their final runs now. So yeah, see, Hanak actually loses that lap time in that lap. Actually, he's currently 1/10 down on the Delta, so maybe a mistake, but again, he's got a couple more laps to go before the end of quali. Some of the drivers at the top improving, but the biggest improvement at the moment is Khan in the Emil Frey Racing livery. Fantastic livery, I must say. 7/10 up on the Delta at the moment. Hasn't set a lap time, so we'll be looking to put themselves into a good place for the start of the 30-minute race. Loses a little bit of time in that final sector. Takes 7/10 all the way down to 3/10. That does put them P17. It's a 1:29.9. Currently 2.5 seconds off pole time. But speaking of pole times, once again the BMW is finding time. Needs to find another 2.5 tenths to completely seal provisional pole. They will get one more lap after this one. So if it doesn't work out, we got one more try to take it. I believe that's Marcin also up on the Delta by about 1.5 tenths, and not enough yet, but yeah, Kanai loses a little bit of time in this final run that I've seen a lot of drivers do so far. Takes the gap down to 2.5 tenths on the Delta, so now all he needs to do is find 3 tenths, and that completely solidifies provisional pole. He's actually in the pit lane, so he's happy with the time. Doesn't think he's going to improve, but again, it doesn't take a lot to find 2 tenths around here. It's most of the time the exit of the corner or the entry, so it won't be too big of a problem, I wouldn't imagine. Yes, you can see already he's actually, well, he had 2 tenths on the Delta just in that one corner alone, but now it's equal with his lap time, so he does have the pace. So this will be his final lap of the session, so it's interesting to see if he can complete the lap time or not. Other drivers not improving. Newsby is not improving, currently 10th down on the Delta. Other drivers very minimal improvement at the moment, so this will be the lap time to watch. Can number 33 find 2.5, well, a bit more than 2.5 tenths in these final few corners? Obviously he lost a lot of time in the final section of this, but he does invalidate the lap. He invalidates the lap. Yep, you can see he's not happy about that one. Yep, so that will solidify him into P2 as Marcin is in the pit lane for P3, but Usby maybe looking for a final hookup of some of these corners. Currently 10th and a bit down on the Delta, maybe looking for a final couple good corners. It does improve, but I don't think it's going to be enough for a place improvement. No, he actually loses more time on the Delta. As you can see there, he slows down at the end of the lap. Other drivers not improving, other drivers on invalidated laps, so that will be qualifying. So it's Hanak in P1, Kanai in P2, and Marcin P3, USV P4, Harry up into P5. But again, if you look at this gap, it's very close. So there should be some. You can't see the gap. Hold on.
Insert.
Alright. Check the ins.
It should be just insert.
Yeah, so there you go. You can see the delta on the screen now. How close that qualifying session was. A few drivers not setting lap times, but hopefully it will be a good race. Obviously, like I said previously, just over 20 drivers today, so there should still be plenty of action at Red Bull Ring. I wouldn't imagine it would be any different. But as we get ready then for the start of the race, I will put you back on the career mode intro as I like to do. So we'll be back very shortly and we'll rejoin at the start of the formation lap.
Here we go. We're off skate.
Half an hour of racing underway.
Can't stop addicted to the shindig. Chop top, it says I'm gonna win big. Choose not to like no limitation. Listed us into the reservation. The pistol that you pay for. This part the feeling that you stay for. In time I want to be your best friend. Eastside love is living on the west end. Knocked out before you better come to. Don't die, you know the truth is some do. Go ask the dust for any answers. Come back strong with 50 million answers. The world I love, the tears I've dropped to be part of the wave. Can't stop. Ever wonder if it's all for you?
Here we go. We're off skate.
Half an hour of racing underway.
Can't stop addicted to the shindig. Chop top, it says I'm gonna win big. Choose not to like no limitation. Listed us into the reservation. The pistol that you pay for. This part the feeling that you stay for. In time I want to be your best friend. Eastside love is living on the west end. Knocked out before you better come to. Don't die, you know the truth is some do. Go ask the dust for any answers. Come back strong with 50 million answers. The world I love, the tears I've dropped to be part of the wave. Can't stop. Ever wonder if it's all for you?
Here we go. We're off skate.
Okay, welcome back everyone. Join me now as we just about to get ready. Track conditions actually a little bit risen a little bit in temperature, but the track is fast, so the track is not ultimate. These drivers can have to suffer a little bit to start with. The lack of grip, you could say, at the start, but hopefully we get a nice start. After a little reminder from quali, it was Hanak to Kanai, to Marcin, to USV, to Harry, and so on. Again, 21 drivers today, so should be plenty of action. to watch from. And everyone was still relatively close to each other, so I would imagine some good racing and hopefully some big trains and some great battles. We see them. You can see them start to. You can see that actually the BMW heavily on the brakes to warm those brakes and tyres up. Obviously, these drivers setting the pressures earlier just before the formation lap, accordingly to the temperature and potentially the track condition. And now just trying to warm them up and make sure they're ready for green flag racing. So again, we can see all the drivers looking for a good start. That McLaren will fly off the line, as we've seen many times already in career mode. McLaren is super good on acceleration, especially off a green flag start. BMW should also get away pretty alright. It's the Astons maybe might get a chance against the BMW. That Ferrari is going to really struggle from Usby, so I would expect him to maybe potentially be fighting for a position into turn 1. Also, now you look down the grid, it's a little bit hit and miss, but we do have a Porsche. This thing will be the fastest thing, I believe. Let me just check. Actually, no, it would be the Lexus, but this thing in the top 8 will be looking for a move on the Aston and Ferrari ahead of it. Jemiel, the driver of that Porsche, looking for a move, and you can see the front bumper of the Lexus there, also not that far behind Jemiel, so also looking for potentially a move into turn 1 with the acceleration of this car. It is second to none. I was testing with Ben not long ago actually with the Lexus on a max top speed Ferrari setup. The Lexus is still pulling away massive amounts of gap. So you see everyone now lining 2 by 2 as they get ready to start the race in their boxes. Inside is probably the best for this track, as you can push your competitor to the outside, but I don't think that's a worry for Hanak at the moment, as I presume he will just fly off the line compared to the BMW. But I could be wrong. We will get away shortly. I believe the green flag for this is just before the white line. It's been a while since I've raced here, but we'll find out very shortly. We'll go on board on the wing cam of this McLaren. See what the start looks like, and it is. McLaren does fly off the line. As you see, Usby up the inside of the Aston, just behind. You see also Astons and Ferraris everywhere. A little bit, I think. Oh, almost. But you can see Jemiel actually, like I said, great start for Jemiel. As we head up the grid again, I don't think it's enough for Kanai to make a move into turn 3. McLaren might look for the dive bomb. He is going to look for it into turn 3. McLaren tries to hold him, but I believe that the BMW is through. What a nice move from the BMW now. So McLaren is now on the back foot. You see Ferrari off the track in the background. There's lots of action to cover. I don't think McLaren will be looking for a thing, but that's Ben looking for a fight. Jemiel also trying to get involved with the Ferrari of Quasi. I believe that's how you pronounce it. I'm sorry if it's wrong. But you can see him going all the way around the outside to the inside from Jemiel. A little bit of contact, but I think that's just fine. Jemiel's still trying to hold it on the outside. Ferrari twitches a little bit. So he makes a bit more contact into thinking. Thanks to Kunos, he did not get the great camera angle of that, but I believe that was a move made by Quasi. I cannot tell you if it was legal or not because of Kunos, but you can see the Lexus all the way behind the back of the Porsche now. You can see that battling has already cost Quasi and Jemiel 1.2 seconds on the first lap. So that's completely crazy to see, but we also see the BMW in the background trying to make a move on the Ferrari, who made a mistake. Harry also involved in this. Harry's actually dropped down a few positions from the start, so looking to regain his place. Still looking for a move, gets that away nicely. We'll move up to the top 2 again now. As for Nak, we'll be looking for the same move that BMW did on him on lap 1. BMW defends very heavily and cuts back across the middle line, holding off Hanak for now. Like I said, like we've seen many times before, battling like this hard is going to cost them time. That's the Lexus in the background though of Ben. I can't catch him in time, but I think he's managed to spin everyone's trying to avoid him. That's super unfortunate, as Lexus was looking for a good position here today, but I don't think it's going to be great for him. But we do see Hanak was looking for a move, and all over the back of that BMW. Of course, the McLaren more aerodynamically stable than that BMW, and we'll be looking to make BMW an easy pass. Obviously, Red Bull Ring being a McLaren track, most things are McLaren track nowadays, but we'll be making the most of the McLaren at the moment. And it now wants to come down into sector 3. I see usually still hovering at the moment around 1 second, just waiting for these guys to make contact or lose significant amount of time. You can see all the time Hanak gains on that corner compared to the BMW. That's what I was talking about. So Hanak presumably be looking for a move already into turn 3. Looking right now, you see the BMW making a little bit of a twitch. BMW is faster in a straight line with the slip frame. McLaren should get a nice toe all the way down to turn 3. Probably for a move. You see the BMW already moved to the right hand side. Hanak's going to look to the left, and BMW I think is going to hold on to that a little bit longer. So Hanak actually goes a little bit deep. Again, that's how it's going to look. You know, if Hanak wants to get past, he's going to have to try it either somewhere else, or he's going to have to try and commit to that inside line. I don't want to recommend, because that is going to be quite chaotic. But still, these guys, you know, pushing very hard. As you can actually see on the weather map at the top, it is going to rain in 30 minutes. Luckily for the drivers, there is not 30 minutes left of this race. It's only 26, but that might change the conditions come the end of the race. The track might get a little bit more greasy, and most probably will not become optimum. So these guys are going to suffer a little bit with less grip for the rest of this race, and potentially come towards the end of it, quite a lot of it, and might even lose some track temperature. So it's interesting to see how everyone's tyres played out. As you see the BMW riding all of the curbs, which is costing a lot of time to Hanak. I don't think he's going to get the pass into turn 1, but again we'll be looking for that same move after turn 3, like we've seen the lap before. I don't think it's a great exit from Hanak actually. We'll go back on board with not that camera. This is the one we want. You can see how much he pulls. Which way does the BMW go? Holds. Does make a late move to the outside. Was worried a little bit maybe of Hanak sending a dive bomb, but that has cost him a little bit though. That late move, Hanak will be just behind him onto the back straight like we were before, but a little bit closer. So maybe Hanak might be looking for a move come this sector. It is one of the hardest sectors to overtake on this track, but is very rewarding when you do so. But we'll come back to this very shortly. I don't think Hanak is actually going to get a great run, but I could be wrong. No, he's going to have to stay behind for this one. But other battles on track at the moment then is Peter and the Audi ahead. Peter actually looking for a move in one of the corners. I said that not very often you see moves. Looking trying to get past the Audi as he wants to try catch up to Jemiel, who is currently 2.1 seconds ahead of these guys. So we're looking for a move very soon. Pryor, I don't think he had a great start to this race, but he's chasing down Mark. He's actually doing very well, Mark, in that Ferrari. As they are in the train for P11. We'll come back on board with Hanak actually, because that's Marcin in the back of the P4. You see that S in the background, that's Marcin. He's just set the fastest lap of this session. It's currently 2 tenths quicker than these guys out front. So all the while they keep doing this, it's just going to allow USB and Baniak to get into this battle. Don't think USB's looking that competitive though, especially in Sector 1. I know he's a little bit struggling, but we do see the BMW go a little bit wide. He did that before, and it's going to cost him loads of time. And that Hanak is literally going to be pretty much pushing him down this straight. I don't think it's going to be enough for Hanak to make the move unless he's brave enough. But let's see how this goes. He's not. He's actually going to try and look for a little bit of a late move and see how much time it gained from braking a little bit earlier compared to the BMW. That BMW keeps making that mistake, and it's going to cost him a lot. You can see how much this McLaren is pulling on these corners that the BMW hates a lot. But again, all to play for now. Must be also in that 1 second. Once again, be looking for a move. Very short, I would imagine. We'll go back on board with Harry Howard, who's looking for a move on the Audi ahead. So Peter did get through in the end, but now it's the two Astons of Harry and Harry looking for a move. But you see the Audi trying to make a move back on the BMW. Was very late and not a great place, but it has compromised his exit now to the Aston Martin. Just behind him, we'll have to go back on board with Hanak, who's literally pushing the BMW down the straight. So bad exit from the BMW. What's Hanak going to do? BMW sticks to the inside. Hanak going to switch to the inside, thinks about it, but BMW covers it off. That could be a late braking move. It could be investigated by the stewards, that one. But again, it's cost the BMW loads because he has to go off track again. But we'll have to watch out in the background as well, because Vania also on the back of Husby. But again, you can see Hanak was not happy with that. He was flashing his lights quite aggressively. I was also not be happy about that one. Did look a little bit dangerous and a little bit late to move back over after he'd already made 2 moves into the braking zone. So I have to see how that pans out and how the stewards think of that one. You can see Hanak getting all the rear sliding into that sector, pushing a little bit too much maybe. Like I said, this track has gone off to him. I didn't expect it to, but the track has gone off to him. So these drivers will start to pick up the pace and be a little bit more comfortable. Rain is still expected, although we will not get it. The track may get colder as we go on. You can see Hanak still with that amazing exit. You can see how this McLaren really shines against the BMW, as the BMW is probably chugging like a boat at the moment. We'll go on board with wing cam, just so you can see how this move plays out for Hanak. You can see the BMW pulling a little bit, but Hanak still staying there within the tow. Let's see what happens this time. Hanak not going to think about it. Hanak is not close enough, but Hanak's really close to the back of the BMW, literally pushing him out of the corners. And I'd expect Hanak actually to try, instead of a move, come into the sector. He's that close enough. Let's see how that plays out for him. But we'll quickly go back on board with, I think it's Harry, on the back of the other Aston, driven by another Harry. So probably potentially looking for a move into this corner. Pulls to the inside, doesn't think about it, tucks back in nicely. So we had a fight for another day. Trying to get past and try catch Peter in the BMW. We'll go back on board then with Hanak, who's still pushing this BMW through. We do have a car off. That's a 72. It is a Graham who's off the track and into the barrier, I believe. I'm not sure what's happened there, but unfortunate to see. But we'll go back on board with Hanak, who's still pushing the BMW through the corners. Probably looking now to try and solidify this move. Actually, see Marcin's actually backed off from Usby a little bit, maybe a mistake from him. But Usby actually making a mistake going off. He was struggling with turn 1 in practice. He does need to try and solve that one relatively soon, because it does cost you so much time down this back straight, like I was saying in qualifying. You know, up to almost a second in some, if it messes up that badly. You can see the BMW a little bit of a bad apex. It's allowed Hanak once again to pull close out of the exit of the corner. BMW is fast enough just to hold the gap, which is not what Hanak needs. Hanak needs a brilliant exit out of turn 1 and a great slipstream, and just needs to commit to the inside like he tried before. But like I mentioned, he did get cut off by the BMW. But yeah, I mean, we'll have to see how it all plays out for Hanak, because he's actually very, very close. He does make a mistake, twitch from the McLaren, and it does cause him to have to correct the car, and the correction puts him into gravel. Luckily, it was a great recovery. I don't think it's cost him too much time. It's cost him about 2/10 at most, but again, we've seen how quick Hanak is at the moment, especially in qualifying. So we're looking to catch up again very quickly. Speaking of then, Pryor still on the back of Mark. As you can see, Kelly actually joining this battle as well. We're looking for a pass, I would imagine, but Mark's doing very well in P12 at the moment, trying to meet his targets for this race. See how Pryor actually attacking those curbs. It's actually cost him a little bit of time, and Kelly might actually try and make the most out of this one. Maybe into turn 1 and beyond. You actually see Hanak's actually pulled a little bit away now from Kanai. Don't think it's massive amounts, but not as close as they were. But you can see Pryor all over the back of Mark and actually round the outside, pulls to the outside, Mark on the inside. I believe there should be a pass for Pryor if he holds it nicely. He does. Mark backs out of it nicely, and that's Pryor through into P12. Great move by Pryor. And you see Kelly also all over the back of Mark now. We're looking to follow Pryor through at any given moment. We'll be looking for a very simple overtake. Doesn't get it this time, but we'll be looking for it, I would imagine, in the next couple of laps. So yeah, we'll have to see how that goes. But we'll go back on board with actually a few guys ahead, who include Harry, the Audi, and these two stuff being trained. As I say that, the battle of the Audis, that's allowing Will to get alongside his Audi cousin into the final sector, corners even. Very nice move, but the Audi's going to get the switchback. Lovely race between these Audis. Something you don't see often enough in these corners particularly, and that's Will. Again, they're going to have to try again, hopefully up into turn 3. So the gap at the front then is 0.6 of a second. Don't think Hanak is going to be close enough. There you go, you can finally see. I don't think Hanak is close enough at the moment, but you can see Will around the outside again. The Audi of the number 37 still holding the inside. Will's going to look to the outside. Not enough, but again, this is costing them lots of time to Pryor. As I say that, Pryor does go off the track, and Kelly's still behind Mark. So the longer they do this for, now it's going to cost them loads and loads of time, like we've seen all throughout career mode so far. The moment you get fighting, it costs you a lot. So you have to be really careful with when you battle and how you battle. So yeah, we'll have to see how this works out for Will. So Will actually looking for the inside, tucks in, doesn't want to go for it just there. He actually gets the wheel over the grass, which is not going to help his turn in, but you can see the Audi head all over the gravel. So equals out nicely. You can see Kelly all the way, literally pushing Mark through the corner. And Mark probably got a bad exit there, as Mark is trying to hold on now the P13. Kelly will be looking for a move very soon, as Kelly actually pulls to the inside into the final corners. You can see he doesn't make it just yet. And as you heard, we're now halfway through this race, obviously only 30 minutes, and then it's a reverse grid for the second 30 minutes. So plenty of action to come just yet. Definitely more action in the second half of this race. You can see Pryor actually getting a 5-second time penalty, and so is the other Ferrari. So penalties are being applied now, so as to see how this affects our race particularly. See Kelly's actually dropped off a little bit from Mark just there. But yeah, we'll go on board with Harry. We'll ask for a little interview. How's it going, Harry? I don't know if Harry is here. He's probably focusing on his battle with the other Harry.
I was on mute.
Oh, he's on mute. Doesn't want to talk.
Yeah, so I just spoke to myself, but what I was saying was that this Aston Martin is not feeling its best. I've also dropped a few positions since the start, and to be honest, the rear end feels all sorts of slidey, so for the next race I'm going to have to sort this out in the setup. And if it's raining, it's going to have to be an entirely different setup altogether, so...
Yeah, not ideal, obviously. There was a chance of rain for this race, and like we've seen on the weather indicator, it is indicating rain, but it won't be raining today because it is not close enough just yet. But again, it could all change for the second half of this race, the other 30 minutes. If it starts raining, like Harry said, these drivers are going to have to start changing the setups, and it's going to start massively changing how the track and the car feels. So for example, a very stable McLaren, like we've seen from Hanak so far, could turn into a very loose and unstable McLaren just for a few changes. So it's all in these drivers' skill to try and manage that the best they can, but hopefully there is a bit of rain because it always makes things a little bit interesting. But maybe not for these drivers who are probably praying to not have rain at the moment. That's great camera angle from Kuno Swans. But you can see BMW holding on nicely from Hanak as the gap sits around half a second at the moment. Usually not catching too much, especially Marcin has dropped off quite a bit, about 2.6 seconds to Usby, so maybe mistakes particularly, I'm not sure, but number 37, who's, I think he's actually, he's literally, I don't know how to explain that, but he is not driving in a straight line on my screen. Not sure how that's, I'm sure Will's probably thinking the exact same. He's probably thinking, how do I overtake this? As it doesn't seem to, I think it's fixed itself now, maybe a little bit of lag, but it seems to be okay now. But essentially, Will, like I said, has got Pryor all over the back, so we're looking for a move as Pryor all over the thing, but that's Will making contact with the other Aldi, and that's an awkward place to be. At this turn 1 you see all the drivers making avoiding action, and luckily no further contact, but you see Will getting a little bit late on the brakes and has hit the other Aldi, and Pryor taking precautionary action before it even happened. So I'm not sure how that's worked out for him. That's number 24. Harry Howard has actually had to RCG, and I think he's just left, unfortunately, but not sure what happened there. Harry, can you give us any insight of what happened?
I don't know. He had a bit of contact with Lupert's in the first corner, and that meant that he was going slow up the straight, so I tried to go for a move on the right hand side going up the hill. And I don't know if his wheel died or what, but he just sort of drifted across the track towards me, and obviously had a contact because of that, but we'll have to find out after the race, I suppose.
Yep, unfortunate to hear about, but we go back on the board with Hanak, who's actually closed the gap to Kanai now, back like it was in the early parts of this race, and Hanak will be looking for a move in this final 10 minutes of this race. The gap to Usby is sitting stable at the moment. You can see the BMW already looking for a move, or expecting a move, sorry, from Hanak. Hanak just trying to put the pressure on, maybe force the BMW into a mistake like it did beforehand, and if it keeps that up, he should be able to make a fairly simple pass, I would imagine. But yeah, I mean, it's been quite close race all race at the moment, so hopefully this will mean in the second race, when there's a reverse grid, it's going to make things definitely interesting and see how the drivers work with that. But that's, I believe that's Will, who's made a mistake from turn 1, actually lost even more positions from his earlier contact this race. This is number 28, that's Maxime getting a penalty as he chases after the Ferrari of Derg. So again, yeah, we'll have to see how it all works out for these drivers in terms of penalties towards the final laps of this race, when the gaps get more predictable. And we'll go back on board with Hanak for now, who's literally as close as he was on lap 1 now to the back of the number 33 BMW. On board of Hanak's onboard cam, just see what he can do. And fairly standard exit from the both of them. I don't think Hanak is actually close enough to make a dive bomb, but I could be wrong. I've seen Harry do one from a few 100 meters back, so it's
all successful, of course.
Yeah, all of successful, no steward incidents at all involved with any of those. Yeah, I mean, obviously not this time for Hanak, but potentially looking for a move somewhere else in this racetrack. I mean, like I said, he's got to try, if he wants to get a move done in this race, because BMW seems to be holding enough gap with that straight line speed that it makes it almost impossible. Lucas has to sort of wait for the opportunity from the BMW to even get close enough at the moment. Like you see there, BMW getting a little bit happy, goes a little bit wide. So yeah, we'll be looking to try and make the most of this opportunity, and I'll have to see. You can see on the weather indicator now, the clouds are starting to appear. Track conditions could be changing in these final 8 minutes. I don't think it's going to rain in these the final 8 minutes, but it might change how the track feels. It does say optimum still at the moment, but you know, it could change at any opportunity. So we'll have to see how that works out for these drivers. Usby still 2 seconds at the moment, so the gap hasn't closed that much, but it has done by a little bit. See what I mean again? Usby gets a bad exit, he's already lost 7/10 of a second, so really has to nail that turn 1 properly to even gain time at the moment. But you can go back on board with Kelly actually, who's a little bit away behind Mark. Obviously we did see maybe made a mistake. I wasn't as close to Mark, but looking to re-close to Mark and hopefully make a pass in these next couple of laps. So another driver we haven't spoken about in a while is Ben. Obviously an earlier incident in this race pushed him outside of the top 10, but he's making a nice recovery as he chases down the number 37 Audi there, who was having a little bit of lag issues earlier this race, but it seems to be fixed now, hopefully. As we'll see Ben, you see the straight line speed of that Lexus, you might even look for a pass. No, it keeps it nice and sensible for now, but yeah, I mean we'll go on board with the Lexus just to show you what I mean. I mean that's not the greatest example as the Audi does go all over the curbs, but this all should be a full pass before from the corner even before the Lexus. Yeah, you can see Ben able to close that gap relatively easily. So yeah, great overtake from Ben as he now pushed himself back up into P13, and he'll now try to chase down the Ferrari, but I don't think that's going to be too realistic as the Ferrari is about 11 seconds ahead. So quite big gaps actually for a 30-minute race, but no, it was looking close. So, and actually next race, the next 30 minutes, it's all reverse grid, is going to be extremely close. So we'll have to see how that works out for them. We'll go back on board with Hanak, who's dropped off a little bit again from Kanai. You see Usby's also dropped off by about another second, so not ideal really. But yeah, I mean, it's like I was saying before, Hanak really needs to put the foot down and try and look for other opportunities rather into turn 3, because if the BMW gets a good exit and covers off the inside, there's not a lot he can do. So he needs to find somewhere else to overtake. I mean, it is possible, so he just needs to try to open up the opportunity. Hopefully he'll see that, or maybe he's just trying to settle in now for the final bit of this race. We'll have to see. That BMW's been a little bit more stable since the early parts of this race. I think Hanak has actually allowed him to settle in a little bit, so it's kept him in the fight. So let's see what the exit's looking like at turn 1. Relatively clean exit from the both of them, and again this is the game we're going to see for every lap. As you can see, Usby eating all of that yellow sausage curve, which is how he's losing so much time to everyone else in turn 1 alone. You actually see Marcin in the background actually potentially going to try catch Usby before the end of this race. They were quite close at the start of this race, and that things are starting to fade out come the end of it. So yeah, I mean, once you go on board with the 202 car, this is Sergio Rigo, who's actually got Maxime and Darkness behind him. So these guys looking for P17 in the final 4 minutes of this race. So yeah, I mean, hopefully he's actually Maxime getting a great exit compared to Sergio, and potentially looking going side by side into turn 1. This is not ideal. This is it's very tight into turn 1, but let's see how it works out for the both of them. Maxime takes the inside nicely, leaves enough space for Sergio. Great race between these two, but all the while this is a loud Darkness in the Aston Martin, who's going to be faster in a straight line to make it 3 wide down the straight. There's a big crash. I think that's fine now. That's taken them both out. Both Ferraris are out of this race. I couldn't tell you who was in the wrong for that one, but wow, that was massively unfortunate for these guys. I don't know who I think was at fault, but it was 3 wide, and then all of a sudden it wasn't. That happened way too quickly. But moving on then, I believe that's actually Price got ahead of you, Harry. So hopefully this battle continues a little bit more. As you can see, both Astons very, very close to each other. Harry potentially looking for a re-overtake come turn 3. We'll go on the
Be
bonnet
lucky with the
cam.
amount of damage that I got on this car.
So apparently Harry has got damage, and unfortunately for him, my angle of the car is not fantastic, so I cannot confirm or deny. Could potentially be telling lies to make his story sound better, but
Well, the repair time says 59 seconds, so
the repair time says 59 seconds. Well, I don't know. I think there's actually a little bit of marking on the side there, so it potentially could be right. I don't know. It's very hard to tell actually from this angle, but
the repair time also has a slightly larger wallet now.
it does indeed. Yeah, that's going to be quite expensive. But yeah, I mean, I don't think with this damage then, I don't think you'll be able to catch Pryor. But you never know. Could be wrong. So,
Pryor had the pace on me for the past couple of laps, and I made a mistake, and he got past, so it's a fair move.
yep. Nice for Pryor. As I say that, as he actually does have 10 seconds, so he's just got to stay within 10 seconds with the final 1 minute 40 of this race, and it should be relatively easy to keep that P8. But we'll go back on board with the top 2 as Hanak has actually dropped outside of a second, which can I maybe a mistake potentially. I presume now I don't think he'll be looking to try to get this pass. He's got one more lap after this one, so I wouldn't imagine there'd be much to do unless the BMW makes a mistake. You can actually see Kelly still trying to get past Mark. Mark actually in P10, so it's a great race for Mark at the moment. You see Kelly still trying to get past the Ferrari. We'll go on bonnet cam. So this is how Kelly races in bonnet cam, just to let everybody know. So this is exactly what Kelly will be seeing right now. He's looking for a move on Mark, a little bit late on the brakes, and Mark leaves him the space, almost contact, but all the while that's allowed Mark to get a little bit of a better exit and potentially a re-overtake come turn 4. We'll have to see what Mark does. I don't think Mark will potentially go for it, but you know, could be wrong. So he does pull to the outside, and it will brake late, but Kelly covers it off nicely. And Mark now looking to try and make the overtake, but it is raining. Harry reports it is raining as they go on to the final lap of the race, and Hank is literally pushing the BMW through the corner. I don't know how they gained that time, but you see how much curb the Hanak took there. He was literally bouncing up and down, but I think the BMW also took a little bit too much curb. So for the final lap of this race, it is raining. Not a lot for the camera to show at the moment, but all the while it has allowed Hanak to catch up. So it'll be the battle now of who can keep it on track. I don't think it's raining that hard, but they have got the wipers on, so I have to see how it potentially out. But I think I might just be able to hold on, because Hanak currently 7/10 of a second behind, but it's not that bad. We just got to focus on, because Bania has caught Usby, now literally just behind him. So we'll have to see how that works out for them. But I think Kanai now heading to this final sector of this race should be able to hold on nicely to this. It's been a great race for the BMW driver. Held on very nicely, made a great opening move on the lap, on the opening lap, and was able to get into P1, and it's been relatively simple since. But if this weather says anything, it means it could all be different for race 2 when it's a complete reverse grid. So the BMW driver for now does cross the line in P1 and takes the win next P2, and a great finisher used to finish P3, Marcin P4, and Quasi takes a great P5. Jemiel P6, obviously a great race from Jemiel, actually got a great start earlier at the start of this race, and held pretty nicely into P6. It's Peter in P7, Pryor P8. Like we mentioned, Harry does have some damage, so Pryor was able to get away, but he does have a 10-second time penalty which will be added to his race, as we see Harry potentially now not even getting that benefit of the 10 seconds, as he has to cede positions all the way down the straight. So that promotes Kelly up to P9, Mark P10 still, so great result from Mark actually. Khan into P11, and then Harry P12, so he does lose the benefit of that 10 second unfortunately. Is Ben in P13 as well. and Dirk will coming across the line now for P14. The Audi in P15, and then it's Will into P16, and then Darkness is the last one to cross the line because he hasn't been lapped. And then that'll be into P17. If he can put it on the track, he can keep it on track. Very well held. Across the line for P17. So it's been a relatively close race all round. And like I said before, if this weather keeps it up, it could be a very interesting race too. As you can see, everyone celebrating. Mark celebrating his P10 finish. So yeah, great race from everybody. Interesting to see what race 2 does, as the fight will continue between Kanai and Hanak come start of next one. But you can see how much it's raining, so it only takes a few minutes to get it going. So we'll have to see how that affects the second race. But for now, we'll say goodbye as we get ready for the next race. We'll have to do a quick server restart, and then we'll be back very shortly. So for now, I'll put you on the Be Right Back screen, and then we'll be back very shortly. Thank you.
lights out.
Half an hour of racing underway.
Can't stop addicted to the shindig. Chopped off pieces, I'm gonna win big. Choose not to like no imitation. This get us into the reservation. The pistol that you pay for. This part the feeling that you stay for. In time I want to be your best friend. Eastside love is living on the west end. Knocked out before you better come to. Don't die, you know the truth is some do. Go ask the dust for any answers. Come back strong with 50 belly dancers. The world I love, the tears I drop to be part of the wave. Can't stop. Ever wonder if it's all for you?
Here we go.
There we go.
We're off
Lights
skid.
out.
Half an hour of racing underway.
Can't stop addicted to the shindig. Chopped off pieces, I'm gonna win big. Choose not to like no imitation. This get us into the reservation. The pistol that you pay for. This part the feeling that you stay for. In time I want to be your best friend. Eastside love is living on the west end. Knocked out before you better come to. Don't die, you know the truth is some do. Go ask the dust for any answers. Come back strong with 50 belly dancers. The world I love, the tears I drop to be part of the wave. Can't stop. Ever wonder if it's all for you?
Here we go.
There we go.
We're off skid.
Lights out.
Half an hour of racing underway.
Can't stop addicted to the shindig. Chopped off pieces, I'm gonna win big. Choose not to like no imitation. This get us into the reservation. The pistol that you pay for. This part the feeling that you stay for. In time I want to be your best friend. Eastside love is living on the west end. Knocked out before you better come to. Don't die, you know the truth is some do. Go ask the dust for any answers. Come back strong with 50 belly dancers. The world I love, the tears I drop to be.
Alright, welcome back everyone. We are now back for the race 2. The track is green, so a little bit even worse conditions than we started with the race 1. So these drivers are really going to have to try and fight their cars to keep them on track. Especially at a track like this, one mistake can cost you an entire lap worth of lap time. Because that makes sense, doesn't it? Like I said, it's reverse grid, so obviously we have Maxime on pole, Darkness, and then the Audi, and then Will, Doug, Harry, who's rigged the race, put himself in P6, Ben in P7, and then it's a load of Ferraris, Pryor, Kelly, Peter, and then got Jemiel, and then Quasi, Bania, Hanak, Nani, and then Yusbi, who I'm not sure he's at the back, but probably deserves it. I'll have to see how this goes. There's everyone now box side by side in their boxes as we get hopefully underway for a great race. I don't think it's one car at the front here that really stands out of getting a good start, other than maybe that Aston Martin, or even potentially Ben in his Lexus by the time turn 3 rolls around. But we will get away just now. Nope. Now, as you can see, great start from the Audis actually, as the Audi actually looking for up the inside of the Aston Martin. Makes a great move into turn 1, but it does spin the Ferrari around. There's loads of cars going, taking avoiding action and off track. I'm not sure what's going to happen there, but we carry on. nicely. You can see Darkness trying to catch the back of the other Audi. There's still lots of cars, but everyone seems to be running again now, nice and fine. But you can see Audi made a lovely move into turn 1 and is currently holding that. Darkness in P2 has promoted Khan into currently P3, and then it's Will in P4 actually looking for the re-overtake on the driver, and then it's Ben in his Lexus trying to do 200 miles an hour. You can actually see Hanak and Nani already, and Yusvi included as well, already up the top, but that's Hanak taking out the Lexus, and that's actually it's cost him loads of time. You can see Yusvi was looking for a move in there, but it's also allowing Kelly to look for a move on Mark 2. So I did tell you there's lots of action in this race. Like I said, Hanak, Yusvi already P6 and 7 and Nani P5. Yeah, I mean these guys already making the positions. You see number 33 already on the back of that 296, maybe potentially looking for a move into this corner. He does make a lovely move into the corner as he now chases down Will in the Audi. For now then, our race leader continues on. Great start, great overtake to turn 1. You can see Darkness following just behind, not that far behind from him. So yeah, what a great move. I believe that was Hanak up the inside of the Ferrari as well. Makes a lovely move. You see that's Mark going off track in the background there. Makes a nice move as he tries to find his way through and try to catch his rival from race 1. You can see Nani already going for a move on the Audi. Not looking for a move, but does allow Will to be a little bit wider. Should get a better exit. Maybe I think it's the Audi actually pulling away from the BMW. And that is a not centered ACM website link on the back of Will's Audi. There will be a conversation about that later. But there's a great big dive bomb on the back from the BMW. And you can see Hanak has allowed, all this fighting has allowed Hanak to catch up. As Will still trying to fight this, holding the inside, and does give way in the end there. Doesn't want to fight that. But it's allowing Hanak actually to look for a move into this sector. Will all over the gravel, does allow Hanak up the inside and does make a very nice path. Yusvi still yet to overtake Will, and I believe that's it for these top 3 at the moment. I don't know where Banier is. He's down in P13 still trying to get past Mark, so he's having a little bit more trouble than the rest of the grid of trying to get through. All the while then, Hanak's still very close to the back of Nani, so again this could change this result, because these guys are most probably guaranteed to catch the top 2 as it stands. So we'll have to see how that plays out for them. I believe that's an Aston Martin that's gone into the barrier there, and that's Harry. I mean, I don't know what's going on. Obviously not your day today, Harry.
Yeah, wasn't great. Well, that could be me out, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't think that Aston Martin looks healthy. I can see your engine, so yeah. I mean, not optimal, some would say. You can see, again, everyone at the top still relatively close. The gaps are still within under a second. You see Darkness still trying to catch on to the back of the number 37 Audi. But all the while, he's got to look in his mirrors, because it's Nani and Hanak coming through. And I don't know what Darkness's game plan is here. I don't know if he's going to try let them through or try battle them for position. I mean, the good thing about this race is it does allow the less experienced drivers to be at the front and get experience what that's like. Hopefully maybe Darkness will try and fight them a little bit and try get some more experience to try to fight these faster cars. But all the while, these guys are literally pushing Darkness through the corner. Darkness will be trying to maybe hold on to this position that he's got at the moment, but all the while this has allowed Hanak up the inside of a corner. There's contact. Hanak's on the grass. Well, this is going to go 3 wide into turn 1. This is not ideal, but it's a BMW up the inside. Darkness holds on very nicely. There's contact between the 3 of them, and that's Hanak on the grass once again. But Darkness, I think, is going to have to cede both here, because he's not going to have the speed to match. That was a great little battle. Darkness was holding on very nicely. I think Darkness actually going to try and look for a re-overtake on Hanak. He actually breaks a lot later, a lot later. And there used to be Tekra and Hanak. That is so unfortunate. He's actually spun himself around even more to make the situation a little bit worse. There's Bania that we see before. So it's actually put Hanak down in P11. with major damage as well. You can see that front end of that McLaren not looking particularly healthy. But yeah, Darkness was holding on very nicely. As I say that, he almost loses the car, but he was holding on very nicely. He made a great rear overtake on Hanak, and then Hanak was a little bit too slow for the apex. I think that used V to work out, and he got a little small tap from behind, which spun him round. Super unfortunate, but you know, it happens quite often. But I think that's actually, yes, it's Gemiel fighting with the Ferrari, and that's Gemiel all over the grass and all over the curbs. Thanks to the camera and Kurnos, it's great. But you can see that's cost Gemiel lots, and it's actually going to allow Kelly around the outside. I don't know what's going to happen here, but Kelly's actually going to make the move all the way around the outside. That's a great move for Kelly as he puts himself up into P8 as he starts to chase down the rest of these guys. Yeah, Darkness still holding on then for P3 at the moment. He's currently got USB just behind him. Actually, our race leader, it's got a 3-second gap in all of this as he continues to thunder down. If he hold on to this nicely, he might actually get away with a good result today. Potentially even a P1 if he's lucky enough. But yeah, USB all over the back now, or starting to get all over the back of the Aston Martin. But that is Quasi up the inside of the 296. I'm not sure what the move was there, but he was really late into turning in. It's actually cost him the position, and he might even cost him the Gemiel. So I don't know what the game plan was there, but Gemiel will be looking for a lovely move into Tony. Moves to the outside. It's not going to get close enough. We might look for the switchback. I believe this actually might get it. A little bit of a twitch from the Porsche. He's not going to get it. We might even look for the inside. There's actually a lot of damage on that Porsche. So everyone's suffering with a little bit of damage today by the looks of it. In other news, USB has got past Darkness. You see Kelly's massively sliding as he's under pressure from Marcin Baniak. So yeah, lots of things actually go side by side. Baniak making a lovely move up the inside, and that's Hanak also just behind. Obviously, like I said, got tapped by USB, did get spun around. You see, I think Kelly's going to try and fight this one against Hanak as well. So yeah, lots of action. Obviously, lots of cars with damage by the looks of it. Hanak's trying to get back into this race. Kelly actually looking for a move again, but it's actually costing the position to Hanak, unfortunately. Yeah, I mean, as this race continues, like I said, USV did get past Darkness in a while. It's still a great position for Darkness at the moment if he can keep holding that. As you can see, the 296 flying off the track, very late on the brakes from Khan. That was actually the number 13, flying off the track. Currently starting a train that actually goes all the way down to P12 to Peter. So yeah, I mean, plenty of action. Gemiel looking for a place to go, but he can't go anywhere. He's boxed in by 2 Ferraris. You can see another Ferrari in the background of Maxime going off in the background. But yeah, I mean, plenty of action. Gemiel looking for a move from both of these guys. That's a very late lunge from the Aston Martin. That's Martin making a move, but that's Nani. Nani's got a drive-through penalty. He's got a drive-through penalty for causing a collision. So that is not by track limits, that's by the stewards. So he's got to come in and serve that drive-through now. That's actually going to help our race leader continue on massively, actually. And if USV hasn't got the pace, like we saw in race 1, it could change everything. So yeah, I mean, Nani's going to have to try and serve this now and try and make the most of it in the final 20 minutes, but he's not going to serve it this lap. So yeah, he's got 21 more minutes to serve this. To see what happens there. In other news, number 33 has been given a penalty versus Darkness. Darkness has got major damage. What has happened to Darkness? He's literally so slow off the straight. He's losing positions left and right. What has on earth happened to Darkness? We'll have to go on board and watch his final sector here, because that is some major damage from that Aston Martin. I presume he probably spun into the barrier of sorts, but how on earth is that happen? Yeah, a little bit of a spin makes the correction, massive collision into the barrier. You can see everyone there like trying to avoid him last moment. Everyone getting out of the way nicely for him. Super unfortunate for Darkness, who was running a great race up until then. But yeah, we'll carry on now. See Gemiel all over the back of Bania. So looking for a move. Obviously, Marcin was one of the top 4 of last race, and now currently fighting his way through the field, but I don't think Gemiel's going to give him an easy time. But like I said, Nani has got to serve a drive-through penalty, so if he skips this lap, he's got one more lap to do it. So we'll have to head on now and see what that game plan is for Nani. It is going to help our race leader a lot. As you can see, our race leader is sliding everywhere. But yeah, Usby I don't think has the pace at the moment. He seems to be struggling over the curbs in that Ferrari. I know the Ferrari isn't the greatest at this track. But you see, by race control on the bottom right, he has got one more lap to serve it. So, yeah, I mean, so he's got to come in this lap no matter what. I'm not sure what his game plan is. I mean, he's just, by looks of it, losing time. So, and if he keeps continually fighting with the race leader, it's going to make it even worse for himself. So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't actually remember Nani making a collision at the start, but I could be wrong. Obviously, I didn't see what happened at the back come the start of the race. But we'll have to see we'll have to see that after the race. But yeah, I think actually Nani's going to try and make a move against our race leader. Yeah, he is. So I don't know why. I mean, unless he wants them to clean air and see if he can push on. I mean, I think actually he's got this lap and next to serve it, not just this lap. Sorry, I could be wrong now. But yeah, I mean, you can see Huseby is a little bit far behind. He's actually 3 seconds off. He's not catching massively against our net race leader, you could say now, because I mean, Nani's got to serve a penalty. So let's see, does he come in this lap? He is coming in this lap. And you can actually see another news. That's Hanak with a 10-second time penalty. And that, I presume, was for spinning Usby. So, yeah, you can see Nani, who was our race leader, into the pit lane now. And he's going to lose so many positions from this. Pretty much all of them. I don't know what's going on that back straight, but that is some action I want to watch. There's cars everywhere. That's Hanak, Jemiel, Peter. There's every car on the blooming grid involved in this one. This goes all the way from P5, P4, sorry, all the way down to like P9. So, you know, there's action everywhere at the moment. Hanak actually looking for a move on Quasi, doesn't look for it, but that's Peter up the inside of Hanak. Gets a little bit of a tap on the back. So these guys, plenty of action. I think Jemiel's actually lost the most out of that one, unfortunately. If this battle continues, there's going to be more and more cars involved. Now I'm talking about Karen and Kelly. You can see them in the background there. They'll be looking to join this train relatively soon. Plenty of action. He's currently 2 seconds off our race leader at the moment. Looking to push on. Usually know he can win this race now if he starts setting the lap time. All the while, plenty of action. You can see Will's car's lost it. That's an awkward place to lose the car, but it gets Jemiel the position up on the grid. Will losing massive positions. You can actually see Nani currently in P15 at the moment, trying to rework his way through the grid. We'll go back up on board with Hanak, who's all over the back of Peter. Obviously Peter overtaking Hanak into turn 3 last time round. Maybe Hanak actually looking for a lap for an overtake into turn 1. We'll have to see how that goes for him. I think with lots of damage on that McLaren, it must be that awful to drive. So props to him for racing it. Obviously track conditions have improved now too fast, so the track's getting a little bit worse. That's another 10-second penalty for Hanak. That's 20 seconds on top of his race time at the moment. It's not great. Hanak looking for the move to the outside, gets shown the outside by Peter. Another tap from Hanak. Hanak is going to get another penalty for that one, I would imagine, as he pushes through Peter there. Super unfortunate. But we'll go back on board with Huseby, who's actually all over our race leader at the moment. Obviously, Drozd is our race leader from the start of this race, pretty much. He led from lap 1, only not leading one lap of this race. Huseby looking for a move. I think there's contact, yes. That's Huseby through. That's Huseby going to get a penalty for that one, I would imagine, as he pushes through our original one, our race leader, who actually is going to hold on for P2 for now, but Bania actually not great. So yeah, Huseby's going to probably receive a penalty for that one. Unfortunate to see, but again, our race leader, our was race leader, is going to hold on strong, and if he keeps up the pace, could be still a great result for him. It's another penalty from Hanak there, and that'll be for the collision we just saw. It's 30 seconds now for Hanak. that's almost almost the entire pit stop, and that sets him back quite a bit. That will actually put him at the moment, if race control would like to update for me, it would put him roughly about P16 from P5 at the moment. So yeah, I mean, unfortunate. All the while, Jemiel's looking for a move on Hanak himself, maybe looking to get this one. But we'll go back on board with our train, which is now currently led by Peter. And then it's a 10-second time penalty for Usbit for the spin on Drozd. And now it's actually a 15-second time penalty. I didn't realise Usbit had a 5-second currently. But you can see there in the background, that's actually Kelly and that Mark. Sorry, yeah, that's Mark and Nani. I think Nani did get the pass there, but yeah, I mean, plenty of action. So yeah, I think actually Banya's got through on Drozd as well. So yeah, I think Quasi now looking for the same move that Usbi and Banya have completed on the Audi driver. So actually it's very close already. Might even look for a move into turn 1. I can see how that one goes. He is going to make the move into turn 1. Very nice move indeed. Actually has to take a little bit of avoiding action. I think Banya actually had a moment there, because that's actually going to cost him quite a bit. So yeah, he had a moment. Unfortunate to see, but will the Audi actually look for the re-overtake into turn 3, close to the outside, but Banya's there. Banya's actually going off track, so very late on the brakes of Banya, which is actually going to cost him the position to the Audi. A little bit of contact made there. Hadges are on to say sorry. But I don't know if that's going to be enough for the stewards. I don't know. I didn't really see a great camera angle of that incident. So we'll have to see what the stewards decide on that one. But all the while, Jemiel still on the back of Hanak. And all the while, this is actually going to allow Hanak to get ever closer to Drozd and Quasi and Banya. So Hanak still in a good position to finish on track in a good position. But obviously, like you mentioned before, yeah, it's got a 30-second time penalty. So we'll have to see, come the end of this race, where it's going to put him. So we actually have 12 minutes left on this race. And yeah, I think USB's game plan at the moment will be just to continue on. I mean, he's got 15 seconds, and he's currently got a let's see what the gap is when race control updates. He's currently got an 8-second lead on Banya. That's gone up quite a bit actually from previous, so we'll have to see how that works out for him. But Jemiel looking for an overtake on the McLaren driver. As you can see, Hanak actually all the way at the back of a blue flag driver actually. I think that's Darkness. Yeah, it is Darkness. Darkness holding to the inside, obviously completely allowed to do that. He's just got to try to get out of the way at the best opportunity, as he does though there. So that's Hanak and Jemiel through. Jemiel still relatively close to the back of Hanak. Will be looking for a nice overtake, but Khan and Kelly side by side. 2 Ferraris into one corner. Which one's going to break the latest? I think it's going to be the Sky Tempesta one. No, it's going to be Kelly. Kelly on the outside, so I think he's going to hold on to this just enough. Yeah, he is, because the Sky Tempesta car, the number 13, is going to tuck in nicely. You can actually see Ben Ely's Lexus, the 801, lurking in the background there. Right now, stops knocking on the door. 10 minutes left. But meanwhile, Nani, so the drive-through penalty earlier to serve, is actually going to be side by side with Fire, coming into the final corners of this lap. It actually makes a move before even that corner, so great move. He's actually now got Peter just ahead of him. So it's 2 BMWs. Which one is going to come out on top? Obviously, Nani on a recovery drive from that earlier drive-through and currently doing a great job. There's 2 cars that have crashed there, which I've completely missed. That is Drozd and Darkness. I'll have to watch back on that on replay because I did not see what happened there. A little bit too far back, I think, for the replay, but
they actually spun out individually on their own. It was first Drozd and then it was Darkness.
Oh, I mean, if I'm stuck in the route one, stuck in the replay at the moment, but we'll have to wait for it to. It's a little bit too far back on this replay time, unfortunately. But yeah, we'll have to watch this. We'll have to keep an eye on it. So yep, his draws coming to the final couple of corners. You can see Audi relatively happy. Yeah, big spin. Yeah, this puts him in the barrier. And then we have Darkness. You can see him in the background there. Massive spin. Does the exact same thing. I mean, wow, I've never seen that one before. I mean, maybe they just wanted to have a quick talk, you know. Not sure what the game plan was there, but they now safely rejoin the track. But meanwhile, Khan on the back of the Lexus. So that is Ben Healy did get through on the Ferrari driver while I was in the replay, unfortunately. So that's good to see Ben making a good race. Obviously, didn't have the greatest of race after getting spun around in race 1, but now making a good comeback for race 2. Currently in P6 and still within 1 second of Kelly, and by turn 3 I would imagine that'd be almost half a second due to Alexis' top speed. So that will be good to see. You can see Nani actually flashing number 13, trying to get past them all at the moment. Obviously, like I mentioned before, Nani on the recovery drive actually pulls to the inside on the Sky Tempesta Ferrari and makes a lovely move. Ferrari gives him a little bit of space there to make that move. So yeah, we Nani now into P7 as he starts to chase down Ben Healy and Kelly. You can see how much that Lexus is close to that Ferrari. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens here. Obviously, Ben looking to hold on for this position, as it'd be a great finish for him inside this Lexus. Since he's got it, he's been looking very comfortable in it, which is good to see, as he's very competitive in the Lexus. Like I mentioned at the start of this race, I did have a race in the Discord series in the older gen cars, and it was majority Nissan and Lexus. So I think Ben, I don't know if he even raced in that one, but still, it's a very competitive car around here, and just in general, it's still quite a competitive car. So it's great to see it in action. But meanwhile, I think Nani's actually going to try to look for a pass into turn 3. I don't think it's close enough for turn 1, but you know, I've seen it all, so it could be. Nope, tucks in nicely. All the while, I think Ben's actually going to try to look for a move on Kelly. Actually has to brake a little bit earlier to avoid Kelly. I'll have to go on bonnet cam. I think actually Ben will probably be looking for a pass here. Let's see what Kelly does. Kelly doesn't really defend that hard, but does push to the middle a little bit. All the while, we're going to watch out for Nani, because he's trying to look for the switchback on both of them. You can see a little bit of contact between things, but there's the switchback that I said about. Nani and the Lexus going side by side now. A little bit of contact made between Kelly and Ben. I say Kelly not happy, flashing twice. Not happy with that one, but Ben maybe looking for the re-overtake on the BMW, doesn't get it. But you can see in the mirror, that's Kelly and the other Sky Tempesta car going side by side, but that is Ben giving the position back to Kelly, but all the while that's slowing him down, has given the position back to the other Ferrari, which is not optimal at all. And even while that's going to might even losing the position to the BMW behind as well. You can see here, better angle of it. Yeah, he is. He's going to lose the position to the BMW. Super unfortunate, but great sportsmanship nonetheless. And it's another 10-second time penalty for Hanak, who's about to set the world record for most biggest time penalty seen in ACM. This is not going to be great for him, but you can see the BMW and the Lexus side by side into the final corner. I'm not sure how contact wasn't made there, but very nice and clean. You can see Ben pulling away in that Lexus, but we'll head up on board with the Khan in the Sky Tempesta Racing 13 number car as he chases after Kelly into this race. Obviously Nani pulling away 2 seconds already as he starts to chase down his race 1 rival Hanak, who's currently sitting in P4. So as it stands, if Hanak doesn't gain any more time, he'll be sitting, we're looking around even more, might be P16 still in this race, which is unfortunate, but obviously it's what the stewards decided. Also we've got to watch out as well for Usby, because Usby's still got a 15-second time penalty, and he's not pulling away massively. So Marcin Vaniat, the man on your screen at the moment, 4.2 seconds behind him, so even if the race finishes as it is, it will be Martin winning this one. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a definite. Come the end of this race, I even think Nani could even end up on the podium after a drive-through penalty, which is completely exceptional in a 30-minute race at the Red Bull Ring. I've never seen anything like that before. As gets another 5-second time penalty just to add to his misery. Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure what's happening there. I mean, I haven't seen the instance he's been involved in, but we'll have to see at the end of the race. But more the wire, Pryor and Peter and Ben and Khan all in a train behind Kelly. So we'll have to see how this works out. Obviously, Pryor not having great luck in the first race, didn't have a great luck at the start of this race, and we're now looking to try and recover into a good deep position in the top 10. Obviously currently P10 at the moment, but obviously P6 is on the cards, he's going to try for it. As you can see, looking around the outside, it's a great move from Pryor if he can make it stick. Both BMW and Aston going off the track, but I don't know, it's going to be a drag race down into turn 4. BMW's just got the edge and the inside for this corner. 3 minutes left on the clock, so not much time now. It's a 5-second time penalty for Ben Ely. I presume that might be for the contact with Kelly, but he did give the position back, so I'm not particularly sure. It might be for another infringement, but yep, that has to be added to the race time as well. So plenty of calculations to be made come the end of this race for me. Yeah, I mean, Pryor still looking to try overtake Ali move, but you can see car 801's penalty was removed, so obviously the stewards re-looked into that one. But yeah, as they move on now into this race, Pryor still chasing down Peter and Khan, who is chasing Ben, who is chasing Kelly. Kelly is starting to pull away a little bit now, but Ben Ely will be looking for another re-overtake on Kelly, and hopefully a little bit of a cleaner one. We'll have to see how that plays out in turn. Obviously, currently 7 tenths behind, but by the time we get to turn 3, it'll probably be about 2 tenths, because this Lexus is insanely overpowered on the straight. So again, yeah, we wait half a second, so you can see he actually might even make a move into turn 4, he's that close. So with slipstream as well, it's literally going to be a rocket coming into this corner. You can see Kelly pushing him a little bit. Kelly now pulls to the outside, Lexus on the inside. Kelly goes around the outside. Great carrying of goodness, thank you very much. You can see Kelly still holds the inside, Ben on the outside. It's going to be very nice racing if this can make it stick, but no, Ben backs out of it. We're looking for a re-overtake somewhere else on this racetrack. So Kelly holds on for now, but meanwhile in the background you can see Pryor and I think that's Khan, yes it is, going side by side, and it is Pryor in front. So Pryor's got through the BMW and the Ferrari now, as he'll start to look to try catch up to Ben and Kelly, who've actually pulled themselves a nice 2-second gap from all this battling. So yeah, Pryor now P8. From the P10 he was in just a minute ago, but you can see the BMW making a move on the Ferrari, but does tag him and spins him round. The BMW does continue, and the Ferrari has to get racing again and does lose position to Maxime. Super unfortunate. That's actually Mark is going to benefit from this as well, getting a little bit of lap time. But you can see we'll go on board with Kelly's wing cam. That Lexus is looking for another overtake. I mean, it's basically a matter of time, because that Lexus is super fast in a straight line, and generally against the Ferrari it's not too bad elsewhere as well. It's loaded a boat in the corners compared to the Ferrari, but I don't think it's that much going to make a difference here today. That straight line speed is simply incredible. You can see Ben not close enough for a move, but there is Pryor in the background as well, so these guys are going to be super careful how they battle really. Otherwise they'll end up losing both positions to Pryor, as we now head into the final lap of this race from Newsby. He'll be about to start the final lap of the race. Actually might even get away with another lap. I'm not sure what the plan is. He is going to be,
Okay, the leader is on the final
I don't
lap
know,
now.
I
Give
think
it all
he
you can.
just made that, but we'll have to see. But he usually does start the final lap of this race, and it's a 5-second time penalty for Peter and the number 27 BMW for that spin. So we'll have have to see how that plans out for him. So that will be Maxime potentially getting a P9 if he can hold on to it. But yeah, I mean that was a close one for Usby. He could have finished the race then and then, but we're into another lap, so why not? He's on the final lap and he has allowed us to have a little bit more racing. Because like we see, we have got the Lexus in the back of Kelly at the moment. So this could be a move waiting to happen. Ben doesn't think about it here, but Kelly does defend the corner. So I was maybe expecting a move, but you can see how close Ben is on the exit of that corner. You would say there would be a move coming to his corner, and Kelly knows it. He's hugging the inside line like it's anything. He actually squeezes Ben all the way to the outside, but I think Ben's going to get a great run. He's going to hold the outside line, Kelly a little bit too much on the inside, but it's going to allow him to hook the corner against the Lexus and actually stay ahead. But one thing we'll have to focus on for now is actually Usby, because he's out to cross the line and take a, well, on track, a race win, but it won't be his, because it will be Marcin Banias. He's excited, he's flashing, and that will be his victory. And then you see Quasi in the number 7 Ferrari will take a well-driven P3 on track. Hanak will be the next one to cross the line in P4 with a 45-second time penalty with Nani in P5 as well. So we'll have to see how it all plays out in terms of penalties after the race, but more the while, Kelly does hold on for P6, Ben P7 and Pryor P8. Great racing from all them drivers. And you see Peter and Maxime also crossing the line, obviously with Maxime getting that P9 come the end of the penalties, unless anything is appealed, of course. We Dirk P13, and obviously our original race leader from the start of this race does finish in P14. Great to see him finish still after a probably quite miserable end to the race for him. Will, and then Darkness, and then Harry, who had to retire due to massive amounts of damage. So, I mean, great race. I mean, there's definitely lots of action on that one, but race control, and on your left hand side does say it is Bania, Quasi, Usby, and then Nani. That will be your race order, with Kelly and Ben getting P5 and P6. I'll have to double check that a little bit later, but just in case any of this is wrong, or any appeals, of course. But for now, that will be your order. And you can see Hanak all the way down into P15. That 45-second really damaged his race, but we'll have to see how the stewards think about this, and if there's any appeals, then obviously the race order will get changed. But again, great race for Mark, actually. He finishes in P9. Actually, great race in race 1 as well. So great couple of races for him, and great race all round, I think, actually, Harry.
Yes, the second race wasn't particularly the cleanest, as you can probably tell from some of the penalties, but no, that was some good racing, and I can't speak for myself, but no, I think everyone could be proud of themselves for that.
Oh yeah, definitely, for sure. Obviously, we don't take any recommendations from Harry's driving, of course, because like you saw, he did end up in the barrier, but still some great races to come. It's actually the last race of our first week of career mode, so yeah, obviously great to start the week, and I think we've had a great first week personally, so obviously plenty more to come, and we'll have to see how it all plays out. But if that is all, I'll end the stream here. Thanks everyone for watching, and
Thank you, everyone.
we will see you next time for the next race. Thank you.